They Shook Hands, Year 1, Chapter 15, Part 2. There are other defenses aside from Fluffy? Harry asked. Can you tell us what they are? Hagrid frowned at him. Of course I can't, he said, surprised that they even asked. First off, I don't know myself. Secondly, you already know far too much, so I wouldn't tell you anyway. That stone be here for a good reason. It's dangerous in the wrong hands, and those wrong hands are trying to steal it. Can you at least tell us who else Dumbledore trusted enough to help guard the stone? Millie asked, and Harry was inwardly cheering at her genius. Hagrid revered Dumbledore, and reminding him of the headmaster's trust in him was a wonderful way to flatter the big man. Hagrid's chest swelled up a bit. Harry knew Billy thinking he had won the day. Professor Flitwick, Professor Sprout, Professor McGonagall, very nice lady, Professor Dumbledore himself had done something that Professor Snape. That's something that one of those two would help guard that stone. Harry shook his head. He didn't know which was the guilty party, but whoever he was, he had Dumbledore fooled completely. There was a clear and present danger to Hogwarts. So it sounds like because they ain't no plot to stealing the stone, Hagrid admonished them. I want you to forget about this business. You ought to be worried about your studies. We're keeping up, Hagrid, Harry said a bit defensively. I'm learning to talk marks and potions. I'll have you know. Well, Professor Snape is known to favor his own, Hagrid muttered darkly, slipping at his flask again. Millie stood up, shoving his head out of her lap. We need to go, Harry, said with a distinct chill in her voice. Good day, Hagrid. Harry also rose in place, his clap on the table. Wordlessly followed Millie out of the hut. As he stepped back off to the castle, he could plainly see that she was fuming. How dare he, she seethed. Of all the rude things to say, saying disrespectful things about our head of house. Back in the common room, the other first years grew very angry when told what Hagrid had said. Draco was perhaps the most eloquent. Didn't I tell you that it would be like this, Harry? He stormed. Everyone's jealous of us. They think we can't get ahead fairly. They think we cheat. Draco scowled fiercely. We're the best, and they just can't accept it, so they tell lies about us. The giant oaf, he said scornfully. We ought to give him a good hexing is what we ought to do. That could be fun, Theo said thoughtfully. We got the perfect defense, too. We could hardly be expected to tolerate someone insulting Professor Snape. Next week, you can go down as usual and get inside a hex him a bit. They just say Hagrid was being insulting and you got angry. You say that like you're not planning to go, Tracy laughed at him. Surely we'll be able to spin that tale properly when we're questioned about it. Theo frowned. I'm not going to be there. Only Harry and Millie have a legitimate, pre-established reason for being there. Lots of people have seen them leaving the castle at tea time. Everyone knows they're going. If the rest of us tag along, it'll look planned, and that would make us look like liars if we try to tell that story. Just us? Millie asked. Good, we get them all to ourselves. That's bloody unfair, Pansy pouted. Smelly beast, I hit him with a bubble bat charm. Surely one person could go along, Draco reasoned. I'll make sure to give him a hex for each of you. Who says you get to go after you manage selfish prat? Always think of yourself first. All of us have the right to go. It's not going to automatically be you just because your name is Malfoy. We'll draw stones for it, Tracy decided, and she matched up a green velvet pouch and a set of stones, 7 black, 1 red. Whoever draws the red stone gets to go with Harry and Millie to hex Hagrid. That seemed to be the fairest method, and they all gave assent. As a neutral party, Harry held the bag as each of his friends pulled out a stone. When they all opened their hands, it was Daphne who had the lucky red stone. Draco pouted. I'll do request, Daphne promised. Any hex you want me to cast, I'll cast it. They spent the rest of the time before dinner discussing what hexes to cast. Dinner came and went quickly. They spent the hours before curfew to secondary potions classroom practicing their spells. They would have stayed together, for they had no fear of wandering the dungeons at night, but their beds were calling to them. Harry felt better after practicing his spells as he always did. Each spell reminded him that he was a wizard, he was special. He would never had to put up the Dursleys hitting again, or Uncle Vernon shouting, or Aunt Petunia's orders, because the Dursleys hated and feared magic. All too soon, the summer holiday would be here, and Harry would be able to pay the Muggles back for some of the hell they endured. He couldn't actually cast spells, but giving them a good scare would be almost as fun. It was with those pleasant thoughts in his mind that Harry fell asleep. So yeah, that's the 15th chapter of They Shook Hands Year 1. It's good to be in Slytherin. Take care, everybody. Another video from my Storytime channel.